8 weeks into lockdown, Delta is sweeping New South Wales.
We had 452, 681 cases of community transmission.
The spread into regions forcing the Premier to extend the lockdown.
The lockdown in regional New South Wales will align with the rest of New South Wales, so until at least the 28th of August.
Premier, why are we still talking about August 28th? Realistically, how long will this lockdown last?
Until we hit 70% double dose and 80% double dose, life will be challenging for us.
The Premier regularly insists
We have had and continue to have the right settings.
and
We know the settings we have in place are some of the harshest that Australia has ever seen.
but there are additional rules and restrictions that can help limit the spread.
5 reasons to leave home.
It means we need to again go hard and early.
If New South Wales had done that, this would most likely have been over a month or so ago.
Outside of 12 hotspots, the people of New South Wales still have more reasons to leave home than under Victorian and New Zealand lockdowns. Even though it's not advised, they're actually still allowed to travel much further than 5Ks, as long as they stay within their LGA. With some experts fearing daily cases could hit 2,000 within a month, there are calls for a reset.
First change is uniformity, same rule for everybody. The second is simplicity. You can only go 5 kilometres from your house. You wear a mask as soon as you leave your house. You can only go to work if you have a formal accreditation, a curfew to bed this down, and a ring of steel around Sydney. Very simple, clear-cut rules.
Some in government are willing to go harder.
Be happy with a curfew?
If that's what the Commissioner suggests to the Premier, well then I'll back him every step of the way.
But with Gladys pushing the rest of the country to learn to live with it,
We can't pretend that we're going to be 0 cases around Australia of Delta.
how much more can the state and the country handle?
We have to drive this outbreak into reverse, get back to low numbers, and get the Australian exit plan back on track.
Wow. Guys, I don't know what it all looks like to you from Victoria, but I think I speak on behalf of just about everybody that is watching these press conferences at 11 a.m. every day. They are almost unwatchable. The whole situation is completely farcical. On a day when New South Wales is recording its highest numbers of the pandemic, another family is grieving a loved one. Gladys Berejiklian makes no new restrictions. She is doing nothing. The soft lockdown continues. And we're all scratching our heads trying to work out if she's not going to do anything more, why is she continuing with this same rhetoric? The whole state needs a complete reset. And if Gladys Berejiklian isn't up to the job, then she needs to step aside and make room for somebody who is up to the job, because she's stuffed this, that's a technical term. We're at that point where we need to use technical terms now. It's ridiculous.
It does seem very much like from rooster to feather duster, doesn't it?
Yeah, given the celebration.
Yeah, that's right.
Lisa, I'm interested in the Sydney perspective on this, because there must be a reason that the bit I don't quite get is having different levels and different restrictions for different parts of Sydney. I get they're not all in the same place, but if you want to keep a city together, you want to be going through it together, and you don't want to be catching up to where the cases are going. You want to be stopping them getting there in the first place. So I don't quite get... There must be a reason that she thinks people in Sydney want that.
But that's the problem. When you watch these press conferences, journalists are going hard trying to get that granular information that seems to be missing between these really high numbers and her continually saying, as she said today, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, the light.
That light she can see at the end of the tunnel, we can all see it too. It's a complete bin fire, and somebody else needs to step in.
As long as the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train coming, Lisa, because I've seen enough movies to know that's bad.
I don't know if a bin fire doesn't sound much better.
All right. With so much content online, it's sometimes hard to keep up with it all. And let's face it, who has the time? The Project YouTube has you covered with the stories that matter. Hit subscribe for a daily list of the news that you need to know.